Antonov AN-225 Mriya, the largest plane in the world, 1988 to present day. On the 24th of February 2022, the Russian President Vladimir Putin declared war on Ukraine. Nearly all of the Western powers and its many allies saw this as an unprovoked Russian invasion of a democratic and independent nation. Whereas Putin claimed Russia was aiming to liberate the Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republics in the east of Ukraine from a supposedly corrupt and dictatorial government in the capital Kyiv. Putin also demanded Ukraine's permanent exclusion from the West's military alliance, NATO, seeing the expansion of the alliance to its borders as a threat, while furthermore seriously questioning the legitimacy of Ukraine's autonomy from Russia. Russia has gained strong support for this action from both Belarus and Syria. On the first day of the conflict, Russian paratroopers attacked Hostomel Airfield, a former Soviet Union secret test facility, located only 20 kilometers or 12 miles from Kyiv. It was later captured to act as a landing pad for further reinforcements by air. During the intense fighting, an Antonov AN-225 Mriya cargo plane that was at the airfield undergoing routine maintenance was hit and almost completely destroyed. With the loss of this aircraft, a truly unique piece of aviation history was lost, as it was the only one of its kind ever built. It was originally conceived in 1983 to carry the impossible at the time, to bring the Soviet Union's Buran space shuttle and core parts of the Soviet Energia rocket carrier from Moscow to Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. This was considered to be a cheaper alternative than to finance a freeway from Moscow to Baikonur. The US and the USSR had been locked in a space race to outperform the other ever since the first satellite Sputnik was launched on October 4, 1957. The Buran space shuttle therefore had been the rival to the US space shuttle. There were also plans for the Mriya's use as an airborne launch platform for space planes, such as the NPO Molniya's MAX. All the Mriya would need to do was reach a height of 10 kilometers in the sky, and the aircraft on its back could use 90% less of its energy to reach space than from on the ground. In mid-1984, only after a year of planning, a basic design model for this aircraft was finalized by Soviet engineers. It was approved by chief designer Petro Balabuyev of the Antonov Design Bureau in Kyiv and was given the green light by the Soviet government in 1987. Its official name is Mriya, which means dream in Ukrainian, and is also named the AN-225 after Oleg Antonov, founder of the Antonov Design Bureau. NATO codenamed the plane as Cossack, but this name is seldom used when referring to the aircraft. The Mriya first flew on December 21, 1988, only a month after the Buran's inaugural debut. And on March 22, 1989, the Mriya broke 100 aviation records, smashing the previous maximum takeoff weight held by the Boeing 747-400 by 245,000 pounds, or 111 metric tons. In May, after conducting tests at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, the plane would fly the 2,400 kilometers back to Kyiv in 4 hours, 27 minutes, despite weighing 1.2 million pounds, or 560 metric tons, while carrying the Buran. 2 months later, it would fly for 3.5 hours to be shown off at the 38th Paris Air Show. Flown into Le Bourget in Paris, spectators were stunned not only by its Goliath size, but also because it was allowed to fly in the rain, something the US Space Shuttle orbiter would have never been permitted. With the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, however, the Buran Space Shuttle project would need to be abandoned, as well as any dreams of a second completed AN-225, as funding for such ambitious projects dried up. The final flight with the Mriya and the Buran would occur on April 12, 1991, to mark the 30th anniversary of the first manned flight to space by Yuri Gagarin. In 1994, the Mriya, after 339 flights and 671 hours in the air, found itself too expensive to be maintained, and was consequently grounded and partially dismantled to upgrade its predecessor, the AN-124 Ruslan. The Mriya therefore never had the opportunity to fly any parts of the Energia rocket or to launch any eager space planes into the cosmos. But a few years later, a niche emerged in the commercial market for a heavy-lift aircraft to cater for supersized and ultra-heavy cargo. As a result, in September 1999, the Antonov Design Bureau's successor and the engine manufacturer Motor Sich invested in a commercialized version of the Mriya. In May 2001, the aircraft was restored into service and was operated by Antonov Airlines. Antonov Airlines is a Ukrainian international charter airline which specializes in oversized cargo. Everything about the Mriya was huge and impressive. It was over 275 feet or 84 meters long, with a wingspan of 290 feet or 88.4 meters. This is a wingspan over double the distance of the Wright brothers' first motorized flight. And towering over all other aircraft, at a height of 81 feet or 25 meters, it was as tall as a 6-story building. To control this monster of an aircraft, it took a crew of 6 people, a pilot, a co-pilot, 2 flight engineers, a navigator, and a radio operator. The Mriya's colossal airframe was powered by 6 enormous Progress D-18T turbofan engines, 2 more than the previous Ruslan model, each capable of producing 51,000 pounds, or 24,000 kilograms of thrust. The turbine inlet temperature of these engines was about 2,420 degrees Fahrenheit, or 1,327 degrees Celsius, which was hot enough to melt normal steel. Therefore, special superheat-resistant alloys had to be used in the construction of the turbofans and certain parts of the engines. After undergoing modifications in 2001, it could carry an incredible 560,000 pounds, or 253 metric tons of cargo internally, along with being able to carry externally an additional up to 440,000 pounds, or 200 metric tons, of outsized cargo, up to 230 feet or 70 meters long. All this allowed for it to have a maximum takeoff weight of about 1.4 million pounds, or 640 metric tons. But this meant that it had to have an extremely heavy-duty landing gear system, consisting of 32 high-impact wheels and a reinforced lower fuselage in order to be able to survive the stresses of such a high-impact landing. Already in September 2001, it flew 4 battle tanks to reach the world record-breaking 560,000 pounds, or 253 metric tons of cargo at the 44th Paris Air Show. On August 11, 2009, lifting a 413,000-pound or 187 metric ton generator, the Mriya achieved a world record for the heaviest single piece of cargo at Frankfurt-Hahn Airport. Despite having cost around $30,000 an hour to hire, it had proved popular with customers, as it had many unique features like having a large ramp entrance at both the front and the back and a split-tail configuration. It made it particularly well-suited for extra-long cargo. In its 33-year-long career as a freight carrier, it had shouldered numerous cargo that other aircraft could have never had any hope of carrying, like 2 entire green energy tram carriages from China to Turkey, or 2 giant wind turbine blades from China to Denmark. Its use in humanitarian aid included transporting bulldozers and tractors to Haiti after the devastating 2010 earthquake, lifting vehicles to Japan after the 2011 Fukushima nuclear disaster, as well as shipping over 100 metric tons of medicine and personal protective equipment like masks from China to Germany, Poland, France, and America in 2020. And although it's clear that the aircraft was destroyed, just a week after its destruction, a major Ukraine arms manufacturer is demanding $3 billion from the Russian Federation in order to restore the Mriya and bring it back into service, a task it says will take 5 years. Given the aircraft's huge contribution to the world, there may still be hope left for the dream.